My phone won't stop vibrating on the counter. It's 2:11 a.m., and each buzz feels like a tiny electric insult crawling up my wrist. I open the town group, and there he is, Arif, smiling too wide, holding his phone up like a trophy. Freedom trip, the caption says. People are reacting like it's cute, like I'm supposed to clap. Then a bank alert flashes. His name, a charge, not ours. My throat tightens so fast it feels like a hand. I hit play on his voice memo. Babe, it's complicated. Don't overreact. A woman laughs, soft, close. I whisper, I'm not overreacting, I'm organizing. The doorbell camera pings. He's outside, smiling like nothing happened. I don't move for a second. I just stand there in the dark kitchen, barefoot on cold tile, staring at the little blue glow of the camera notification like it's a dare. My heart thuds low and heavy, not fast, like it's trying to keep me steady. My hands feel wrong, too light, too shaky, like they don't belong to me. I'm Lena. I'm the one who remembers the due dates, the school uniform days, the grocery list that actually fits the budget. I'm the one who rinses sticky cups and wipes fingerprints off the fridge at midnight because mornings are always a race and I refuse to start them already losing. Arif has always loved a clean story. Big dreams, big plans, big words he can toss like confetti at dinner parties. Networking. Growth. Next level. He says them with that warm voice that makes strangers lean in and nod like he's handing out hope. Meanwhile, I carry the routine. He carries the narrative. And tonight he wants freedom. Not the kind you earn, the kind you take, the kind you dress up with a smile and expect your wife to bless with her silence. He still expects my stability to be waiting here when he's done pretending to be a new man. But I can already feel the way this could flip on me. How fast people love a charming husband and a difficult wife. How easy it is to paint a mother as hysterical when she's just awake. My child is asleep down the hall. My home is quiet. My name is on more things than his is. Bills, forms, signatures that keep our life stitched together. And he's outside my door, smiling. If you've ever been blamed for someone else's choices, stay with me. This gets unreal fast. The first thing I notice when I open the door is the smell. Not the usual air from the hallway, dust and someone's fried onions drifting under doors, but Arif's cologne, sharp and sweet like it's trying to erase whatever truth clings to him. It hits the back of my throat and my stomach tightens in the way it does before I throw up. He stands there with his shoulders relaxed, hands in his pockets, wearing that same easy grin from the photo, like he's dropping by to borrow sugar. Hey, he says softly, as if the word is a peace offering. My fingers stay on the edge of the door. I don't step aside. Behind him, the hallway light draws a clean line down his face, and I can see little things I wouldn't have noticed once. How the smile doesn't reach his eyes. How his jaw is already braced like he expects impact. You came back early, I say. He laughs, a quick breath. Lena, come on, can we not start with reality? My voice comes out low, controlled. I can feel the control in my chest like a bandage wrapped too tight. He glances down the hall toward the stairs like he's hoping a neighbor will appear and witness his patience. His performance has always been better with an audience. I just want to talk, he says, like adults. The words land wrong, like I'm the child, like he's the calm one, and I'm the storm he's here to manage. I stare at his face, at his perfect little calm, and my mind flashes to the bank alert again. His name, that unfamiliar charge, like a bright red stamp on everything he's pretending. Talk, I echo. Through the door? His brows pull together. Why are you acting like I'm some stranger? Because you are, I think, because the man I married didn't smile for strangers while I sat awake at 2:11 a.m., wondering if my life was about to be repossessed. But I don't say it. I hear a soft creak behind me, tiny feet on the hallway floor, a shuffle, the sound of sleep still clinging to a small body. My heart drops through me. Mommy, comes a thin voice, rough with dreams. I turn my head just enough to see her, my daughter, hair a mess, clutching her faded stuffed rabbit by one ear. Her eyes are half-mooned with exhaustion. Arif's whole face changes, It's instant, practiced like he flips a switch. "Hey, princess," he says, voice warmer now, full of that soft honey he saves for moments that make him look good. "Daddy's here." She blinks at him like she's not sure if he's real. Then she takes 2 slow steps forward, the rabbit dragging along the floor behind her. "You came back," she whispers. He drops into a crouch and opens his arms. "Of course I did. I told you I would." My throat burns. He told her, and it comes out so clean, so certain, like he kept a promise instead of ripping one apart. She goes into his arms, small and sleepy. He holds her tight and looks up at me over her shoulder, like he's waiting for me to soften, like this is the part where I melt and forget the receipts. I don't. I just watch. My daughter's cheek presses against his shoulder. Her eyes close. For a second, she looks peaceful, like her body recognizes the comfort, even if her mind doesn't understand the story behind it. Arif kisses her hair. "Did you miss me?" She nods. A tiny movement. "You were gone." "I know." His voice drops to that dramatic softness, like he's the one who suffered. "I'm sorry, baby." Sorry. The word tastes bitter in my mouth. Not because it exists, but because it's cheap the way he uses it, like a coin he tosses to make the street quiet. I clear my throat. "Put her back to bed," I say. "She's half asleep." Arif stands, still holding her, and walks past me like he belongs here, like he didn't announce freedom and then disappear into some shiny world where he could post sunrise photos and pretend his hands were clean. The apartment is dim. The kitchen light is off, but the living room lamp by the couch glows faintly, casting everything in a warm yellow that makes it look gentler than it feels. I follow them down the hallway, my bare feet silent. My skin feels too tight, like my whole body is bracing. In her room, Arif lowers her onto the bed, pulls the blanket up, tucks it around her like he's an expert. He glances at her nightlight and turns it on. The soft glow fills the corners. She murmurs something and rolls onto her side. Arif straightens and looks at me. There's that face again, the one for me, the one that says I'm difficult if I don't fall into line. We step out into the hallway and I close her door until it's just barely cracked the way she likes it. Then I turn. "Why are you here?" I say quietly. "If you're posting freedom selfies like a single man." He exhales like I'm exhausting him. "That's what you're mad about? A photo?" I look at him, just look. My hands are still shaking, but inside me something has gone cold and clear, a thin sheet of ice over a deep lake. "It wasn't just a photo," I say. "It was the bank alert. It was your voice memo. It was the laugh. It was you coming back like you didn't do anything." His eyes narrow slightly. "Lena, I told you it's complicated." "Complicated isn't a plan," I snap before I can stop it. He flinches, a small one, like he didn't expect sharpness from me, like he expects me to stay soft so he can shape me. He tries to smile. "You're tired, it's late, let's not do this right now." My chest tightens again, but this time it's anger. Don't do this right now. Like my reality is a scheduled inconvenience. I walk into the living room. He follows. The couch sits there with the throw blanket folded neatly, the way I always fold it. The small table by the armrest has a stack of school papers, permission slips, a crayon drawing, a note from the teacher, the life I maintain. Arif stands by the couch, hands open like he's trying to look harmless. "I came home because I miss you guys, because I realized I needed to reset. Reset, like I'm a device he can turn off and on." I stare at the coffee table and see my own phone there, screen dark now, but I can feel its earlier buzzing in my bones, like my body remembers. "I want you to answer one question," I say. He nods quickly. "Okay. What was the charge?" His mouth tightens. "What charge?" Don't pretend." My stomach twists, bile rising. I swallow it back, my throat stinging. "The bank notification," I say, "your name. A charge that isn't ours." He looks away for half a second. Half a second is enough. "Travel," he says, "just travel stuff." "Travel stuff," I repeat. "What stuff?" He laughs. Just a little. "Lena, You're interrogating me like I committed a crime. My eyes sting, not with tears yet, but with pressure. I picture the way he said, "Don't overreact," like he's already drafted the version of me he'll show others. Hysterical, controlling, obsessed. I keep my voice even. Send me the details. What? Send it, I say, still calm. The receipt, the booking, whatever it was. He hesitates, and I watch the hesitation move across his face like a shadow. Then he shakes his head like I'm being unreasonable. You don't trust me. The audacity of it hits me so hard I almost laugh. Almost. You left, I say. You posted like you were free. You told me not to overreact. You're asking for trust like it's a bill I owe you. He steps closer, softening his voice again. I didn't leave you. I took space. Space. I picture my daughter's small voice. You were gone. That's not space, that's absence. I'm going to bed, he says, as if he can end the conversation by declaring it. He turns toward the hallway. My body moves before my fear can. No. He stops and looks back. I stand there, hands at my sides, shaking again, but I don't care. No, I repeat. Not in my bed, not like this. His face hardens. Lena? No, I say again. Short, clean, a boundary like a locked door. For a second, the air between us feels thick. I can hear the refrigerator hum, the faint tick of the wall clock, my own pulse pounding behind my ears. Then, Arif's expression shifts into something colder. The mask slips. So what? He says. You're kicking me out? You want to make a scene? Quietly, I say. Yes, quietly. He stares like he can't believe I'm refusing his script. I walk to the small cabinet and pull out a spare pillow and blanket. My hands move on autopilot, efficient. I set them on the couch. You can sleep here, or you can leave. He scoffs. This is my home. The words hit me in a place I didn't know was still bruised. My home. The one I clean. The one I pay for when he forgets. The one I hold together when he's networking. My home, I correct, and I watch the word land. He opens his mouth, then shuts it. He tries to smile again, but it's thin. Lena, you're being dramatic. I feel my jaw clench. Dramatic is what he calls me when I insist on facts. I pick up my phone and unlock it. The screen floods my face with light. I open a note I started earlier. Time, date, bank alert, voice memo, laugh. Arif's eyes flick down to the phone. What are you doing? Writing, I say simply. He frowns. Are you documenting me? I look up at him. My voice comes out soft, almost gentle, which scares me because it means I'm past panic. I'm documenting reality. He stares for a second like he might explode. Then he forces a laugh, louder this time. Wow. Okay, so now you're going to act like I'm some villain. Great. He rubs his face and paces 2 steps, then turns back. You know what? Fine. Do whatever you want, but don't forget, people know me. People like me. You start telling stories, you're going to look unwell. Unwell. There it is. The threat wrapped in concern. My skin goes cold. I can feel every hair on my arms lift. My stomach drops again, and I grip the phone harder, my fingers numb. I'm not telling stories, I say. I'm collecting proof. He freezes. For the first time tonight, he looks scared. Not for me, for himself, for the version of him that can't survive daylight. His phone buzzes. He glances down and flips it over quickly, screen against his palm. I notice the motion. My eyes lock onto his hand. He sees me watching and moves toward the hallway. I'm going to shower. My laugh escapes me, small, sharp. At midnight, he pauses, then says, I can't sleep like this. Me neither, I think, not for weeks. He disappears into the bathroom, door closing softly. I stand in the living room with the blanket and pillow on the couch, with my phone in my hand, with my daughter asleep down the hall, and I feel something hard forming inside me. Not revenge like fire, revenge like stone. I move to the kitchen table and sit. The chair creaks under me. I open my laptop, screen bright, and pull up our bank account. I export statements. I save them in a folder labeled Reality. My fingers shake less when I do this. Each click feels like a breath. I remember the early years. Arif taking my hand at parties, leaning in, telling me I was his anchor, saying it like it was romantic, like he admired stability, like he wasn't planning to exploit it. Back then, I thought being someone's anchor meant being loved. Now I realize it can mean being used. Water runs in the bathroom, the shower. I close my eyes and listen to it, the steady hiss. I picture him under that water, washing off the night, washing off the lie, stepping out clean. It won't work. I type the date, the time. Returned early, attempted to minimize, threatened narrative. The words look cold on the screen. My throat tightens again. I press my knuckles to my lips and breathe. Then my phone vibrates once more. A message pops up from Rumi. You awake? I stare at the screen, my heart doing that heavy thud again. I type back, yes. 3 dots appear, disappear, then I saw his post, Lena. Do you want me to come over? I swallow hard, my eyes burn. No, not yet, I type. Not yet, but stay close. I set the phone down and stare at the kitchen wall, at the small crack in the paint I've meant to fix for months. The crack seems like a metaphor, and I hate that my mind does that. I hate that my pain is turning into symbols. The shower turns off. A moment later, Arif walks out, hair damp, towel around his neck, wearing the old gray t-shirt I bought him years ago. He looks almost familiar for half a second, and my chest aches with a sudden stupid grief for the man I thought he was. Then his phone lights up in his hand, and he angles it away from me again. The familiarity dies. He sits on the couch and starts scrolling like he's waiting for me to apologize. I don't move. I keep working. Minutes pass, slow and thick. He clears his throat. Lena, can we just reset? Start tomorrow fresh? Tomorrow. Always tomorrow. Always later. Always after he's gotten what he wants. I look at him. Really look, and I feel the calm settle deeper. I have one more question, I say. He looks wary. Okay. I tilt my head. In your airport photos, who was the second suitcase for? His face goes blank. For a second, there's nothing. No charm, no story, just emptiness where an answer should be. Then he laughs too loudly. What? Lena, you're analyzing reflections now? I don't blink. I saw it. He shifts on the couch. His knee bounces once. It was a stranger. Someone walked by. You're imagining things. The lie is sloppy. That's what surprises me most. He's usually so polished. My skin prickles with the first spark of something like relief, because sloppy means rushed. Rushed means he didn't plan for me to be awake. I nod slowly, like I accept it, but inside, my mind is already moving. If he lies this easily, he'll lie again. And every lie will leave a trail. I glance down at my laptop screen, at the folder name, Reality. I taste metal in my mouth, like my body is making its own warning sign. Arif yawns dramatically. I'm exhausted. I can't do this. He lies down on the couch, pulling the blanket over himself like a child. He turns his face to the back cushion, away from me, a silent dismissal. I sit at the kitchen table long after the apartment goes quiet. I listen to his breathing slow, then deepen, as if he's innocent enough to sleep. I don't sleep. I scroll back through his Freedom Trip post. I zoom in. I stare at the reflection in the shiny elevator door behind him. There it is. A second suitcase handle, right beside his. My fingers go numb. I take a screenshot. I save it. And in the quiet, with the refrigerator humming and my child's nightlight glowing down the hall, I feel the story shift. He thinks he came home to end this, but he just walked back into my spotlight, and I don't miss details. Morning doesn't arrive gently. It slams into me through the blinds in thin, pale stripes like the world is trying to pretend everything is normal. My body feels like it's full of sand. My eyes burn. My mouth tastes stale the way it does after a night of holding back tears and swallowing anger until it turns metallic. From the couch, Arif stretches like a man on vacation. He sits up, runs a hand through his hair, and looks at me like I'm the one who made things uncomfortable. Like I threw glass on the floor and now he has to tiptoe. You're up early, he says. I'm already in the kitchen, packing lunch with slow, precise motions. Bread, a banana, a small box of juice. I don't trust my hands to move fast. Fast hands mean mistakes. Mistakes mean opportunities for him to call me unstable. Our child pads in, rubbing her eyes. The floorboards squeak under her feet. She looks at Arif and freezes. For a second, her face lights up, hopeful, like she thinks this means he's back for real. Then she looks at me, searching, and my chest compresses. Arif beams. "Good morning, princess." She smiles timidly, then glances away. The smile doesn't stay. I keep my voice soft. "Go wash your face, baby." She nods and disappears into the bathroom. Arif leans on the counter as if he's about to make a sales pitch. "Listen," he says, voice smooth. "I know last night was intense, but I'm here now. I just needed that time. I needed to breathe." Breathe, like I don't. I slice the banana and place it carefully. "Where are you going today?" I ask. He blinks. "What?" "Today," I repeat. "Are you going back to your trip? Are you staying? Are you going to work? I need a plan." His expression tightens, annoyed, offended that I'm not grateful for his presence. I said I'm here. "That's not a plan," I say. He watches me for a moment, then sighs as if he's the patient one. "I'm going to handle some things, just stuff. You don't need to micromanage." Micromanage. My fingers clamp hard around the lunchbox zipper. The plastic digs into my skin. "I'm not micromanaging," I say evenly. "I'm parenting, I'm budgeting, I'm living in a world where you disappear and I'm still responsible." His eyes flicker. "You're making it sound like I abandoned you." "You were gone," my daughter says suddenly from the hallway. I turn. She's standing there with her face damp, hair still messy, staring straight at him. It's not an accusation. It's a simple fact. But the fact lands like a slap. Arif's face softens again, mask on. "I know, sweetheart, Daddy had to take a little trip." "Why?" she asks. The question hangs in the air, my stomach knots. Arif smiles. "To work on myself. To be better. To be better." I can feel my teeth grind lightly. He says it like it excuses everything, like better is an apology, like better is a magic word that erases the nights I woke up alone and the mornings I had to be both parents. She looks at him, then at me. "Mommy said you were at work." Arif's eyes cut to me, sharp. A warning. I keep my face neutral. "Finish your breakfast, baby." She sits at the table and starts eating, slow, distracted. Arif lowers his voice, leaning in toward me. "Don't confuse her." Confuse her, like he didn't. My throat tightens again. I can feel anger rising like heat under my skin, but I keep it down. I keep it contained. Anger in a mother is always judged. Anger in a husband is stress. "I won't," I whisper. "But you will if you keep speaking in slogans instead of truth." His jaw tightens. The day moves like a performance. We do the school run. Arif insists on coming like he wants to be seen. He holds our child's hand in the parking lot, laughs loud, waves to a teacher like he's always been there. I watch from a step behind, my stomach twisting. People smile at him. People always smile at him. Auntie Farah stands near the gate with her scarf wrapped tight and her eyes wide with interest. "Oh," she chirps when she sees Arif. "You came back." Arif flashes that bright grin. "Of course. Couldn't stay away from my girls." My hand clenches around my bag strap. The strap bites into my palm. Auntie Farah's gaze slides to me, warm but curious. "Lena, you must be relieved." Relieved. My lips part, but nothing comes out. What do you say when your life is being narrated by someone else, in real time, in public? Arif answers for me. "She worried too much while I was gone. You know her." I feel my blood go cold. He laughs softly. "Always planning, always stressing." Auntie Farah chuckles politely. "Ah, mothers." My cheeks heat with humiliation. Not loud humiliation, quiet humiliation. The kind that settles into the ribs and stays. Our child looks up at me, eyes uncertain. I force a smile so my child doesn't see my throat closing. We drop her off. She runs inside, backpack bouncing, and I stand there, watching the doors swallow her. Then I turn to Arif. His smile drops the moment we're out of the school's view, like a curtain falling. "See," he says, "everything's fine. Everything's fine." I want to scream. I want to grab his phone and throw it against the pavement. I want to ask him who taught him that fine is something you can declare into existence. Instead, I say, I need to go to work. He nods, distracted already, phone in his hand. Yeah, I'm meeting someone. Who? My voice stays calm. He glances up, irritated. Lena? Who? I repeat. He exhales. Just a friend. Friend. I don't push. I don't chase. I let the word hang because I know something now. He hates specifics. Specifics are where truth lives. I drive to work with the radio off. My hands grip the steering wheel so tight my fingers ache. My mind keeps replaying the morning. His slogan, his grin, Auntie Farah's eyes, the way he used my name like a punchline. At work, my body moves on instinct. Emails, calls, numbers, smiles. I do what I have to do because bills don't pause for betrayal. But every time my phone buzzes, my stomach drops. At lunch, I sit in my car and open the bank app. Small withdrawals, not huge, just enough to feel like he's testing the edges, like he's seeing how much he can take before I notice. My pulse pounds in my throat. I take screenshots, I export transactions, I create a new folder in my drive. Reality. Finances. The word reality makes my tongue press against the back of my teeth. It steadies me. I message my bank to reroute my paycheck to my personal account. I set it up with slow, careful taps. Each tap feels like a nail going into place. When I finish, I exhale for the first time all day and realize my lungs have been barely working. My phone lights up again. A notification from the town group. Arif posted another freedom update. I click without thinking. There he is again, in a mirror selfie this time, smiling, shirt crisp, caption, resetting, healing, coming back stronger. Coming back stronger. I zoom in on the background, a hotel lobby, a sign behind him, and there, just a corner of it, an event banner with a logo I recognize from Nadia's company. My skin prickles. I screenshot, save. My phone buzzes with a message from Rumi. Check your messages, now. My heart stutters. I open our chat. Rumi has sent me a screenshot of a location tag from Arif's story, some coastal resort name. Then, another screenshot. Arif texting someone last week, accidentally posted to a story for 1 second before he deleted it. Rumi caught it. In the corner of the image, a name. Nadia. My stomach rolls. I grip the phone so tight my hand cramps. Rumi. He told everyone he's alone. This tag isn't even the city he said. Lena, this is messy. My throat burns. I type back, save everything. Don't post, don't comment, just save. Rumi sends, already did, I'm coming over tonight. I stare at the screen, then at my steering wheel, then out at the parking lot where people walk by with coffees and normal lives. I want to crawl out of my own skin, but I can't, because I can feel what he's doing. He's building a story where he's the brave husband and I'm the anxious wife. He's laying the bricks while I'm still trying to keep the roof from collapsing. By evening, when I pick up my child, my face feels heavy. I smile anyway. My smile hurts. At home, Arif isn't there. The apartment feels too quiet. The silence presses in from the corners like damp. My child drops her bag and starts talking about her day. Butterflies. A classmate's new pencil case, a teacher's funny joke. I nod and and my mind keeps drifting to Arif's phone angled away from me. His words, his performance. During dinner, my child says casually, Daddy said you worry too much. The fork slips in my fingers and clinks against the plate. My throat closes so fast I almost cough. What? I manage. She shrugs, chewing. He said you always think something bad is happening, and that's why he needed a trip. The room tilts. My vision blurs at the edges. I grip the table. I feel heat behind my eyes, sharp and angry. He said that to her. He used our child as a mirror to reflect his blame back at me. I swallow hard. That's not true, I say, voice steady because it has to be. Sometimes grown-ups say things when they don't want to take responsibility. She looks up, wide-eyed. What's responsibility? My chest aches. It's when you own your choices, I say softly, when you don't make other people carry them. She nods like she understands a little, then goes back to eating. I stare at her small hands holding her spoon, at the way her feet don't reach the floor. My anger sharpens into something cold. Later, when she's in bed and the apartment is finally quiet again, I sit on the couch with my phone. A notification appears. New message request. My breath catches. I open it. A polite DM from someone I don't know. Profile picture. A woman with kind eyes, headscarf neat, smile small, message. Hi, I'm sorry to bother you. I think our spouses are traveling together. Can we talk? My pulse slams. My fingers go numb. For a moment, I can't breathe. I can only hear my own heartbeat and the distant hum of the fridge. I stare at the message until the words blur, then, slowly, I type. Yes. When? The typing bubble appears immediately, like she's been waiting with her own shaking hands. Her reply comes, now, if you can. I sit back, phone glowing in my palm. The air feels suddenly thin, like the walls have moved closer. I glance down the hallway toward my child's room, the nightlight seeping under the door. Then I look at my laptop, at the folder labeled Reality, already growing like a spine. My mouth tastes like metal again. I whisper into the empty room, okay, and I hit call. Samira's voice comes through the phone like she's holding it with both hands. Soft, controlled. The kind of calm that isn't peace, just damage containment. Hi, she says. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say this without sounding crazy. My throat feels tight enough to snap. I press my palm flat to my stomach like I can keep my insides from spilling out. You don't sound crazy, I say, but my voice is too thin. You sound like someone who hasn't slept. A breath. Then a bitter little laugh on her side. Yeah, that. I sink onto the edge of the couch. The fabric is cool under my legs. My knees feel weak, like I've run a long distance without realizing it. I'm Samira, she says. Nadia's fiancé. The name lands in my body like a dropped plate. I feel it in my teeth. My hand clenches around the phone. Okay. I found your account through the tags, she continues. It took me an hour to work up the nerve to message you. I kept thinking, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm paranoid, but then she slipped. My mouth tastes like metal again. Slipped how? A pause. A tiny sound like paper shifting. She posted a girls' trip story, Samira says, for like 10 seconds. It was a table at a resort restaurant. Sunset, drinks, someone's hand in the corner wearing a watch. My scalp goes cold. I know his watch. I've watched it glint across dinner tables while he talked about himself. I've watched it flash when he pointed at me in public, smiling like I was the punchline and the prize. Samira exhales. It was his watch, Lena. My chest tightens so hard I make a small sound without meaning to, something between a gasp and a choke. I squeeze my eyes shut. Behind my eyelids I see the elevator reflection, the second suitcase handle, the laugh in the voice memo. The world doesn't tilt anymore. It clicks. All this time, I whisper, and my voice breaks on the words. All this time, he's been acting like I'm irrational. I know, Samira says quickly. I know that look they give you, like you're the problem for noticing the problem. I open my eyes. The living room feels too still. The lamp's warm glow looks wrong, like a staged photo of a home. What do you have? I ask, and I hate how steady I sound now. Hate it and need it. Samira's voice gets practical. Screenshots. The story, the location tag she forgot to turn off. A receipt photo she sent her friend. She didn't realize it was in the chat I could access on the iPad. My stomach turns, but my brain sharpens. Send everything, I say. I will, she replies, and I can hear her swallowing tears. But I need to ask you something. My fingers go numb again. What? Is he telling you he's alone? She asks. A short, humorless breath leaves me. He's telling everyone he's alone. Samira goes quiet for a second, and when she speaks again, her voice sounds smaller. Then he's lying to both of us, which means she's lying to me too. I stare at the hallway where my child sleeps. My heart squeezes painfully. Samira, I say, I'm sorry. I don't want your pity, she whispers. I want the truth. The word hits me, truth, like a hand on my shoulder, steadying. I'm going to get it, I say, and my voice surprises me. It comes out low, certain. And I'm not going to scream for it. I'm going to collect it. After I hang up, my hands shake so hard I have to set the phone down. I stare at my palms like they're betraying me too, trembling, sweating, alive. I walk to the kitchen and pour water from the pitcher. The glass clinks against my teeth when I drink. My stomach flips anyway. I open my laptop, a new folder, I name it, Nadia. Then another, timeline, I type the date. The time Samira messaged me. The content. The proof pending. My eyes sting, tears threaten, but they don't fall. My body is doing that thing it does when it decides crying is a luxury. When survival comes first. The next morning, I take my child to school alone. Again. Arif is out, of course. Out handling stuff. Out resetting. Out living in a world where consequences are optional. On the walk back, Auntie Farah catches me near the stairwell. "Lena," she calls brightly. "How are you? I saw Arif's posts. So inspiring, My stomach drops, but my face stays smooth. My smile feels like paper. "Inspiring," I repeat. Auntie Farah leans closer, voice dropping as if she's sharing a prayer request. "He said you were worried, but he looks so happy now. Maybe you should relax a little, Heat floods my cheeks. My throat tightens with humiliation and rage. Relax. Like my life is a shoulder massage. I nod once. Thanks for your concern. Then I walk away before my voice can crack. In my car, my hands grip the steering wheel until my knuckles ache. My breath comes shallow. He's doing it. He's preparing the town. He's shaping the story so when the truth comes out, people hesitate. Because they already think I'm the anxious wife who couldn't let her ambitious husband breathe. My phone vibrates. A message from Samira with attachments. My chest locks. I open them. A screenshot. Nadia's story frame. Sunset, table, a hand with Arif's watch visible. The same one I bought him for his birthday. The one he wore to look successful. A second screenshot, a location tag, an upscale resort by the coast. A third, a blurred receipt photo in a group chat. 2 names, 1 room. My vision goes sharp and narrow, like my body is zooming in. I whisper, okay, not okay as in fine. Okay as in understood. At lunch, I don't eat. I sit with my laptop open in the car and search for a legal clinic. Family law, financial protection, custody basics, credit fraud. My hands feel steadier when I'm doing something. My skin stops crawling. I schedule an appointment for the next day. When Arif calls that evening, his name flashes across my screen like a dare. I answer on speaker while wiping the counter so my hands stay busy and my voice doesn't shake. "Hey," he says, too cheerful. "How's my favorite girl?" My stomach twists. "Which one?" I hear myself say before I can stop it. A beat, then his laugh. "Lena, don't be like that." I close my eyes and breathe through my nose. "I'm sending you a question," I say, voice calm. "You can answer it in writing." He sighs like I'm exhausting. "Why are you doing this?" "Because I need clarity," I say. "For budgeting." His tone sweetens. Dangerous. "You're making this bigger than it is." My fingernails dig into my palm. "Send it in writing," I repeat, and my voice doesn't crack this time. "Where you went, with who, what you spent." He goes quiet. The quiet is heavy, like he's calculating. "Lena," he says finally, "you're not well right now." There it is. My throat tightens, but I swallow it down like a stone. "Put that in writing too," I say softly. "That you think I'm not well, I want it documented." His breathing changes, quick, irritated. "You're being petty," he snaps. "No," I say, "I'm being safe." I hang up before he can twist it into a monologue. That night, after my child is asleep, I sit on the floor beside my bed with my laptop open, the glow washing my hands pale. I stare at old photos of us. Wedding. A trip to the lake. His arm around my shoulders, my smile too wide, too eager. My chest aches with grief, so sharp it makes me nauseous. I whisper into the quiet, "Was any of it real?" And the worst part is, my mind answers before I'm ready. Maybe it was real. For me. I close the photos. I open the folder again. Reality. I rename a subfolder, Communication. I add a new document. Boundaries. Written-only contact. Parenting schedule log. Financial transaction record. Everything dated. Everything backed up. My eyes burn. tears finally slide down, hot and silent, and I wipe them away angrily because I hate how they blur the screen. I'm not crying for him. I'm crying because I loved him like a home. And he treated me like a hotel. The next day, the legal clinic smells like old paper and lemon cleaner. The chairs are hard plastic. My hands sweat on my knees. A woman across the desk listens while I speak. Calm voice, shaking fingers. She doesn't react with shock. She reacts with focus. Patterns, she says. Financial patterns, parenting consistency, written communication. I nod, throat tight. She slides a checklist toward me. My fingers curl around the edge of it like it's a lifeline. When I get home, I set up a binder. A physical one. Because screens can glitch. Papers don't. I label sections in black marker. Bank, posts, messages, school. I feel a cold satisfaction settle under my skin. Then, at 9:47 p.m., my phone pings with a notification from my bank. My stomach drops so hard I feel it in my knees. New credit inquiry detected. I stare at the alert until the words stop being words and become a siren. My hands go ice cold. My mouth dries instantly. Someone tried to open credit in my name, using our old address. I can't breathe. I press my palm to my chest like I can force air back into my lungs. And in the silence of my living room, with my child asleep down the hall and Arif somewhere out in the night rewriting the world, the thought crawls up from my gut and wraps around my throat. This isn't just betrayal, this is sabotage. The credit alert sits on my screen like a stain that won't wipe off. New inquiry detected. My name. Our old address. My throat tightens so hard it hurts to swallow, like my body is trying to keep words from escaping. My skin feels too hot, then too cold, like I'm flipping between fever and shock. I stare at the alert until my eyes ache. Then I move. Not fast, not frantic, just deliberate. Like every step is a stitch holding me together. I lock my bedroom door first. A habit I haven't needed in years, but my hands do it anyway. Click. The sound is small, but it changes the air in the apartment. The click says I'm awake now. I sit at the kitchen table and open my laptop. The chair is hard. My back is stiff. My palms keep sweating, sliding against the trackpad. I pull up my bank's fraud center, freeze credit. I type the words into a search bar with fingers that don't feel like mine. I want a magic button. I want a single action that makes betrayal reverse itself. There isn't one. There are forms, steps, times, confirmation numbers. Good. Paper trails are my language now. I freeze my credit with each bureau one by one. The process is cruelly calm. It asks for details like it's a game. Mother's maiden name, past address, security questions I forgot I ever answered. When I finish, my lungs finally pull in a full breath, and it feels like my ribs creak with relief. Then, I file a report. Not because the report will heal anything, because it will exist. Because one day, when someone says, "Lena, you're being dramatic," I want to slide a document across a table and watch their face change. My phone buzzes with a new message. Arif. Just one line. Can we talk tonight? I stare at it. My jaw clenches so tight my teeth hurt. My thumb hovers over the keyboard. I type slowly. Put anything important in writing. He replies almost instantly. Why are you doing this? Because you're doing things in the dark, I think. I type. Because I need clarity for the bank and for our child. 3 dots. Disappear. Reappear. Then, you're making me look like a monster. I bark out a laugh. One sharp sound that surprises me. My stomach twists anyway. I don't answer that. I open my folder again. Reality. I create a new subfolder. Credit. I save the screenshots, the time, the inquiry details, the confirmation numbers for the freezes. Then I open a blank document and title it Truth Packet. I sit there, staring at the words. Truth Packet. Even the name feels like a weapon, but it's not a weapon. It's a shield. I call the number my legal advisor gave me, an actual lawyer this time, not a clinic, someone Rumi found through her cousin. The woman's voice is calm, firm, like she's standing in a clean, bright room where men like Arif don't get to control the lighting. She asks questions, short ones, dates, amounts, whether my child is safe. I answer. My voice sounds steadier than my insides feel. Freeze your credit, she says. Done. Do not argue by phone, she says. Written communication only. I started that. Document parenting routines, she continues. School drop-offs, pickups, medical appointments, anything that shows stability. My chest aches at that word. Stability. I've been stability for so long it became invisible, but now I will make it visible, line by line. Also, she adds, keep your language neutral. Facts only, no accusations unless you have proof. Let him supply the contradictions. I swallow. He's good at twisting things. That's why we don't give him emotions to twist, she says. We give him dates. When the call ends, I sit for a moment with the phone pressed to my ear, even though it's silent now, like I'm trying to absorb her steadiness through my skin. Then, I stand. I walk to my child's room and watch her sleep. Her cheeks are warm. Her mouth is slightly open. Her stuffed rabbit is tucked under her chin. Her breathing is soft, steady. My throat burns. I press 2 fingers gently against her hairline, just to feel her warmth, to remind myself why I'm doing this. Not to win, to protect. Back in the living room, I start building the packet. Not a rant, not a revenge manifesto, a timeline. Date Arif left. Dates he posted freedom content, bank transactions and amounts. The voice memo time. The credit inquiry, alert time. The screenshot of the second suitcase handle in the airport reflection. The resort tag Rumi caught. Samira's screenshots showing Arif's watch and the room proof. Each item gets a timestamp, a note. A saved file, the packet grows like a spine, vertebra by vertebra. My phone buzzes again. Rumi. I'm on my way. Don't be alone. My eyes sting. I type, okay. When Rumi arrives, she doesn't ask if I'm okay. She takes one look at my face and her mouth tightens like she's biting down on words. She sets a bag of groceries on the counter. Eat, she orders. You need fuel. I try to laugh, but it comes out thin. She sees my laptop open, the folders, the documents. Her eyebrows lift. You're building a whole case. I'm building reality, I correct, and the words feel strange and powerful coming out loud. Rumi nods slowly, like she understands. Then she pulls out her phone and shows me something new, a screenshot of Arif's latest story, his face close to the camera, eyes slightly red like he practiced in the mirror. Caption, I'm trying my best. Some people don't want to see me happy. My stomach drops. He's doing it. He's painting me as the villain in advance. So when the truth comes out, people will already have a place to put it. Overreaction, jealousy, controlling wife, and then my blood goes colder. The location tag on his story, not a city, not a resort, a neighborhood near my workplace. My skin prickles. My hands shake again. He tagged your area, Rumi says, voice tight. That's not an accident. My mouth goes dry. He wants people to look at me, I whisper. He wants them to see me as unstable. Rumi leans forward. He wants pressure. He wants you to crack. I stare at the screenshot, the calm mask, the sad eyes, the caption. It's emotional blackmail dressed as vulnerability. I feel something in me harden, not rage, not grief, resolve. I stand and walk to the sink and turn on the water, letting it run. The sound steadies me. My hands are trembling, so I wash them slowly, watching the soap foam up, watching the water carry it away. I'm not going to crack, I say quietly. Rumi's voice is low. Good. I turn off the water, dry my hands. Then I do the next thing. I send Arif a message. Short, neutral. Due to the credit inquiry and unexplained charges, all communication must be in writing. Please confirm where you are staying and provide receipts for recent transactions. For our child's stability, confirm your visitation plan in writing. My finger hovers for a second. My heart pounds. Then I hit send. Rumi watches me. He'll hate that. I nod. Good. Because he can't charm a document. He can't smile his way through a timestamp. He can't network his way out of a credit alert. 20 minutes later, his reply comes. A long paragraph. trying to sound calm and wounded at the same time. Lena, I don't know why you're doing this. I went away to find myself, and you're turning it into something ugly. I didn't do anything wrong. I've been alone. I've been trying to heal. I came home, and you treated me like an enemy. Alone. Alone. I read it twice and feel my pulse slow, not because it's calming, but because my mind is sharpening. He just said it. In writing. I look at Rumi. He lied, I whisper. Rumi's eyes flash. Save it. I save it. Then I do something else. Something that makes my stomach twist with dread, even though I know it's necessary. I message Samira. He just confirmed in writing he was alone. Do you have proof he wasn't? Samira replies within minutes. Yes. I have the resort check-in confirmation photo with date, and Nadia's friend posted a group shot. He's in the background. My throat tightens again, but this time it's not panic. It's momentum. The next part is delicate. The lawyer said, loop in family without drama. One line, facts. A request for help, understanding charges. So I pick the person who can't easily be turned against me. Arif's older sister, Farzana. She's practical. She's always been polite to me, even when Arif tried to turn our life into a stage. My fingers hover over her contact name. My stomach flips. I can already hear Arif's voice. Why are you involving my family? Because you involved the whole town, I think. I type one line. Hi, Farzana. I'm sorry to message late. I'm seeing unexplained charges and a credit inquiry in my name. Can you help me understand if Arif is okay and where he's been staying? I send it. My heart pounds like I just stepped off a cliff. Rumi watches me with approval, so fierce it almost makes me cry. Within half an hour, Farzana replies. Credit inquiry? In your name? What do you mean? My hands shake again, but my voice inside me is calm. I type, I received an alert. I've frozen credit. I'm documenting everything. I'm not trying to fight. I just need facts. Farzana's response is slower this time. Then, send me the alert screenshot. I do, and just like that, Arif's story begins to crack where he can't reach it because I'm not fighting him on his stage. I'm pulling him into rooms where receipts matter. The next morning, I wake to a missed call from Arif, then another, then a voice memo. I don't open it. I don't give him audio. Audio can be denied, twisted, claimed, out of context. I need writing. Rumi is making tea in the kitchen. The kettle whistles softly. The sound is domestic and normal, which makes my chest ache. My phone buzzes with a notification from the town group. Auntie Farah posted something. I open it, stomach twisting. A mother should support her husband's growth. Some women can't handle change. My vision tunnels. My hands shake so hard I almost drop the phone. Rumi leans over my shoulder, sees it, and swears under her breath. He's feeding her, she says. I swallow. My throat burns, but I don't respond. I don't comment. I don't engage. I screenshot. Because this public pressure becomes part of the pattern. Arif wants me to fight in public so he can point and say, see, she's unstable. I refuse. Later that afternoon, Farzana calls. I step into the bedroom and close the door softly. Lena, she says, voice tight. Arif told me you've been monitoring him. I close my eyes. My stomach clenches. Here it comes. I keep my voice neutral. I'm documenting finances and parenting for stability. I got a credit inquiry alert. That isn't monitoring, that's protection. Farzana goes quiet. Then she says, slower, he didn't mention the credit inquiry. Of course he didn't. I feel a coldness spread under my skin. A calm that makes my hands steadier. I can forward the screenshots, I say. Do, Farzana says. Please. When the call ends, I stand still for a long moment, phone in my hand, staring at the wall. My pulse is steady. My mind is clear. He thought he could control the story by crying on camera and charming aunties, but he can't out-charm a fraud alert. He can't out-smile a timeline. He can't out-talk a written lie. And somewhere out there, he's going to realize it. Not because I yelled, because I stayed quiet long enough to hear the truth drop. The day Arif comes back for real, the sky looks washed out like someone tried to erase the color but left the heat behind. I'm standing at the sink when my phone buzzes. A message. Landing, we need to talk, I'm coming by. My fingers go still on the wet plate. Soap slicks my hands. The faucet runs, loud in the silence, and for a second I just let the water hit porcelain because I need something steady to listen to. My chest tightens, not fear, not exactly, more like the body remembering a wound before it opens again. I type one line. Do not come without confirming a time, communication in writing. 3 dots pop up immediately, like he's already holding his phone with sweaty palms. Then, Lena, stop this. You're embarrassing me. I turn off the faucet. The sudden quiet rings in my ears, embarrassing him. My mouth tastes like metal. I wipe my hands on a towel, slow and careful, and I feel my heartbeat settle into a calm thud. I'm not embarrassing you, I whisper to myself. You're exposing yourself. Rumi is in the living room, sitting straight-backed like she's ready to throw herself in front of anything sharp. She looks up when I walk in. He's coming? She asks. I nod once. She stands immediately. Do you want me here? I glance down the hall at my child's door. The nightlight glow leaks under it. She's safe, sleeping, small in a world that keeps trying to turn her into a pawn. I don't want her to see this, I say, voice low. Rumi's eyes soften. Then she won't. She steps closer and grips my hand for a second. Warm, solid. You're not alone. The words scrape something tender in my chest. I swallow hard and release her hand because if I hold on too long, I might crack, and I refuse to crack now. I move like a person following a checklist. Phone charged. Laptop open, binder on the table, bank, post, messages, school, credit. My lawyer's email drafted, ready to forward anything new. Everything in order. That's the thing about betrayal. People think it makes you messy, but it can also make you precise. Sharp, clean, a buzz, a new notification from the town group. Arif posted again. I open it and my stomach clenches. It's a video of him sitting in a car, face angled just right, eyes glossy. He speaks softly, like he's sharing a confession with the world. Sometimes you grow and the people closest to you don't want to grow with you. They call it betrayal, but it's really fear. I'm just trying to be a good man. My skin prickles. Heat rises up my neck. I can feel the old instinct inside me, the urge to scream, to comment, to defend myself like a teenager in a public fight. I don't. I screenshot. I save it. Because if he wants the world involved, the world can see the truth too, later, when it's safe and clean and backed by receipts. The doorbell camera pings. Rumi's whole body stills. My breath catches. I open the app. Arif stands outside the building entrance, shoulders squared, smiling as if he's arriving to pick up a trophy. He's dressed well. Of course. Crisp shirt, watch on his wrist, hair styled like he's going somewhere important. He looks up at the camera and waves. The wave makes my stomach turn, like he thinks even the camera is his friend. He buzzes the intercom. The sound is harsh. A metallic interruption. It slices through my home like a blade. I don't answer. He buzzes again. Then my phone lights up with a call. Arif. I let it ring until it stops. A text arrives immediately. Open the door. I stare at the words. My jaw tightens. I type. No. Confirm a time and we can arrange a supervised drop-off for our child. Otherwise, speak through counsel. 3 dots. Then, you're acting insane. There it is again. The word he uses like a rope to wrap around my throat. I feel my heartbeat slow because now I'm not just angry, I'm certain. I stand, grab the binder, and walk to the door. Rumi follows a step behind, silent as a shadow. I don't open the door. I open the mail slot. The cool metal edge brushes my fingers. I slide a single envelope out through the slot and let it fall to the hallway floor with a soft thud. Inside the envelope, the storage unit address for his things, the access code, and 1 page with my lawyer's contact. No insults, no screaming, just logistics. My hand trembles slightly as I close the slot. The intercom buzzes again, longer this time, impatient. Arif's voice comes through tinny and loud. Lena, stop playing games, I'm not leaving. My stomach flips, but my voice stays low. I'm not playing. I step back from the door and sit at the kitchen table, binder open. Rumi sits across from me, eyes sharp. We wait. Minutes pass. Then the doorbell camera pings again. Arif is still there. He's pacing now, phone in hand, head tilted like he's talking to someone. Maybe Farzana. Maybe Nadia. Maybe Auntie Farah. Maybe the entire town. Then, finally, he leaves the building entrance. Not defeated, just frustrated. Like a man who can't believe a locked door is still locked. My shoulders loosen a fraction. But I don't relax, because this isn't over. Men like Arif don't stop when they hit a boundary. They try to shame it. They try to crowd it. They try to make it look like cruelty instead of protection. The next move comes faster than I expect. The next morning, Farzana calls. Her voice is tight, tired. Lena, what is going on? I feel my throat tighten, but I keep my voice neutral. What did he tell you? She exhales sharply. He said you're keeping his child from him. He said you're freezing him out and spreading lies. My stomach twists. He tried to open credit in my name, I say calmly. I have the alert. I froze my credit. I have bank statements. I have his written message confirming he was alone on the trip. And I have evidence he wasn't. Silence. Then Farzana's voice drops. Lena, Nadia called me last week. My skin goes cold. Nadia? I repeat. Farzana sounds sick. She asked me if Arif was home yet. She asked like she had a right. My fingers clench around the edge of the table. A slow heat blooms in my chest, spreading into my arms. Not wild rage, a contained burn. He wasn't alone, I say, and my voice is so steady it scares me. He lied. Farzana exhales, shaky. I'm not defending him. I didn't think he'd go this far. I close my eyes. Neither did I. When I open them, Rumi is watching me like she's waiting for my next move. I don't need to speak it out loud. The next move is already in motion. That afternoon, I meet my lawyer in her office. The air smells like clean paper and coffee. The chairs are firm. Everything is designed for truth, not comfort. I hand her the binder. She flips through it without reacting, except for the tightening around her eyes that tells me she's seeing exactly what I've been living. This is strong, she says. Very strong. I swallow hard. My throat burns. He's telling people I'm unstable. She nods. Let him. It helps us. The sentence lands strange, like relief wrapped in ice. He put it in writing? She asks. I nod. Multiple times. She taps the page. Good. Good. The word makes my eyes sting, not because I want him punished, because I want him powerless to harm us further. My lawyer drafts emergency financial protections. She drafts a formal notice. She drafts a request for a supervised, structured visitation schedule contingent on him providing accurate contact information and proof of stable lodging. No drama, no revenge fantasies, just consequences in ink. When I leave the office, my phone buzzes. Arif again. A message. We need to meet. You can't do this to me. I stare at it while walking to my car, sunlight hot on my face. I type. All communication through counsel. He replies instantly. I'll tell everyone what you're doing. My fingers pause over the screen. Then I type. You already are. I put the phone down and drive home with both hands on the wheel. Breath steady. That night, the family meeting happens. Not because I demanded it, but because Farzana demanded answers and Arif couldn't resist an audience. He thinks he's better in front of people. He thinks his charm is a weapon that never runs out of bullets. We meet at Farzana's apartment. Rumi comes with me. My lawyer isn't there, but her instructions are inside my spine now. Facts, dates, no emotions to twist. Arif is already seated when we arrive, leaning back like a king who's been inconvenienced. Nadia isn't there, but her presence feels like smoke in the room, something that clings even when you can't see it. His eyes flick to me and he smiles that careful smile. There she is, he says, loud enough for everyone to hear. My wife. My stomach turns. Farzana doesn't smile back. She gestures to the chair. Sit. I sit. Arif looks around, then spreads his hands like he's on a talk show. I don't know what this is, but... Stop, Farzana says, flatly. Just stop. The word slices the air. Even Arif blinks. Farzana looks at me. Lena, tell me. My hands are cold, but my voice is calm. I brought a timeline. Arif laughs, short and sharp. Of course you did. You're obsessed. I don't look at him. I slide one sheet of paper across the table toward Farzana. The timeline is clean. Dates, transactions, posts, the credit alert, the written messages. Arif's smile falters when he sees the paper move. Farzana reads. Her face changes in slow motion. Confusion, then disbelief, then something that looks like grief. Arif leans forward, trying to snatch the narrative back. That's nothing. She's twisting. Farzana raises her hand. Quiet. Arif freezes. I slide the next page. Arif's written message. I've been alone. I slide the next. Samira's evidence, Arif's watch, the resort check-in proof, the date. Arif's face drains. His throat works like he's swallowing rocks. He tries to smile again, but it breaks at the edges. Okay, he says, voice too light. So I wasn't alone, but it's not what you think. Farzana's eyes snap up. Then what is it? Arif's gaze darts around, searching for a door in the air. It was complicated. Complicated. The same word from the voice memo. I feel my stomach twist, but it's almost distant now, like I'm watching him from behind glass. Farzana flips to the credit alert screenshot, her eyes narrow. Then she asks the question that makes the whole room go silent. Why, she says slowly, is her name on a credit inquiry? Arif's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. A beat. 2. He looks at me, and in his eyes I finally see it. Fear, not of losing me, of losing control. Lena, he says softly, trying a different tone. You know I'd never. Don't, I whisper, and the whisper feels like steel. Farzana's voice rises, shaking. Answer. Arif's jaw clenches. His hands flex on the table. I didn't do that, he snaps. She's accusing me of fraud now? I don't move. I don't blink. I'm not accusing, I say quietly. I'm documenting, and the email connected to the travel bookings was used in the inquiry attempt. His face flickers. A tiny slip. That's all I need. Farzana leans back like she's been punched. She covers her mouth with her hand. Her eyes fill, not with tears for him, but with shame on behalf of the family name he's dragging through mud. Arif looks around wildly. You're all acting like like you did something unforgivable? Farzana's voice cracks. Because you did. Rumi's hand rests on my knee under the table, a silent anchor. Arif's voice drops, desperate now. I was trying to start fresh. Fresh. Like we're old trash he left on the curb. Farzana shakes her head. You weren't starting fresh. You were running. Arif turns to me then, eyes glossy again, searching for the one person who always softened. Lena, he says, voice thick. I made mistakes. I got confused, but I love our child. I love you. The words hit my body like cold water. Once they would have melted me. Now they just feel late. I exhale slowly. My hands stay steady. I believe you love what I did for you, I say, voice soft. I believe you love the stability, the image, the way I made your life easier. Arif flinches. But you didn't love me enough to protect me, I continue, or her. Farzana sobs once, quietly, like she's trying not to make noise. Arif's eyes flick to her, then back to me. Please, he whispers. Let's just reset. We can fix it. I look at him, really look, and I feel nothing romantic, no longing, just clarity. I slide one paper across the table, my lawyer's contact and the written boundaries. Communication goes through counsel, I say. His face goes blank, like his brain can't process the idea of losing direct access to me. He shakes his head, whispering, You can't. I can, I say. And I realize in that moment that revenge isn't loud. Revenge is watching the person who hurt you realize they no longer have a place to stand inside your life. Arif's perfect story falls apart not because I screamed, because I stayed steady long enough for the truth to do what truth always does. Take up space. I don't sleep that night. I lie on my side with my eyes open, staring at the crack of light under my child's door, listening for the smallest sound. One cough, one turn in bed, one bad dream. My body is exhausted, but my mind stays awake like a guard dog that learned the hard way what happens when it relaxes. When morning finally comes, it doesn't feel like relief. It feels like maintenance. I make tea. The kettle whistles, the Steam fogs my glasses for a second and I blink through it, trying to remember what it felt like to be soft without being scared. My child shuffles into the kitchen in her pajamas, hair sticking up in a wild crown. She climbs into her chair and rubs her eyes. "Mommy," she whispers, voice thick with sleep. "Are we okay?" My throat tightens so fast it hurts. I swallow, hard. I walk over and crouch beside her chair, pressing my cheek against her small shoulder for just a second. Warm. Real. Alive. "We're okay," I tell her, and the words feel like a promise I can actually keep. "We're safe." She nods, slowly, like she's taking the sentence and folding it into herself. I kiss her forehead and go back to the stove. My hands move steadily now, not because I'm fine, but because I've accepted something I fought against for too long. Calm documentation beats loud arguments. Boundaries aren't punishment, they're protection. And anyone who sells a perfect story eventually runs out of filters. Reality is the one thing you can't edit forever. I tuck a small note into her lunchbox before school. My pen pauses, then writes anyway. "You are loved. You are not the reason. You are never the reason." At bedtime, I read her the same book twice because she asks with that hopeful little voice that still believes adults can fix things. I let the nightlight glow. I leave the door cracked. Then, I stand in the hallway for a long moment, breathing in the quiet. My quiet. If this story hit somewhere tender in you, if you've ever been blamed for someone else's choices, stay close. Subscribe for stories where the truth wins without cruelty. And tell me, have you ever had to set a boundary that saved you? Next time, it's not a husband. It's a family friend who played both sides until the receipts cornered them.